All right. We've started talking yesterday about how bacteria can create cavities. And yesterday on your science, you had to make a prediction of how you think bacteria causes tooth decay. So think back to what you put as your answer yesterday. I need computers up. Think about what you put yesterday as your prediction of how bacteria would cause tooth decay. And as I read this, I want you to think if you were on the right track with your prediction or not. So today we have two new vocabulary words. One is acid, which is a substance that is produced by the bacteria in our mouth. And the other is dissolve, which means to break apart. Okay? So would dissolving be a type of decomposition? Yeah, decomposing means to break down. So if dissolve means to break apart, would that be decomposing? Yes, it's one way that things can be decomposed. Since bacteria eat the same food you do, you end up feeding mouth bacteria every time you eat and drink. Bacteria in our mouths thrive on sweet or starchy foods such as soda, cookies, and potatoes. As decomposers, bacteria work to break down the sugars in food into smaller substances that they can absorb. As bacteria break down and eat sugars, one of the substances they produce is acid. This acid can dissolve your teeth. Okay? So let's think about what happens. A person eats something sweet, and then what's the next step in bacteria causing tooth decay? You eat something sweet, and then what happens?
And then they eat it down pretty much, and it makes acid.
Yeah, so they're breaking down that food into some smaller substances that the bacteria can absorb. Then, after they've broken it down, it says one of the substances that is produced is acid. And after that acid is produced, what happens?
It helps them eat.
Yeah, that acid dissolves your teeth. Okay? So, I want you to look at, what does dissolve mean? We just talked about that.
It means like it makes something disappear and destroy.
There's to break apart. If something's dissolving, it's breaking apart. You can kind of think of dissolving kind of like, it's not exactly what happens, but if you think about like melting, something kind of melts, or like candy that erodes away, that's like dissolving. Okay. All right, so I need you to listen. You've got 3 words to use here to fill in the blank when I ask a question, okay? Your 3 words are acid, dissolve, and bacteria. So your vocabulary words here, plus the word bacteria. Okay? Because blank are living things, they break down and consume food for energy. What would go in that blank, Harper? Bacteria, exactly. Bacteria are living things. So they break down and consume the food for their energy, just like we do. One thing that bacteria produces during the process is blank. What does bacteria produce during the process of breaking down and consuming food? Acid, dissolve, or bacteria? Scotty? Acid, very good. It produces acid. It isn't as strong as other kinds of acid, but it can slowly blank your teeth if it isn't removed regularly. Cash?
Dissolve.
Dissolve. Very good. How do we get rid of, it says if it isn't removed regularly, how do we get rid of that acid that could dissolve our teeth, Owen?
You brush your teeth.
Brushing your teeth. And then going to the dentist also when it's time so that they can get things that we can't get to. And to check our teeth. Yes, sir. Do you have a question?
No, I was